Hey, what's up, C-Maniac Nation? C-Man, fresh out the AMC after seeing F1, the movie. And I must say, Mr. Joseph Kosinski, you have done it once again because I really had a good time with F1. Now, if you're looking for Top Gun Maverick in race cars, that's not what this movie is. I think Top Gun Maverick is much more of an event-based film where this is a much more traditional flick. But what Kosinski is able to give you energy-wise behind the camera, while different, is very, very similar to Top Gun Maverick. And I just love seeing all the places that Kosinski finds to put cameras when your actual actor is in the seat of the thing that you're driving. Like, F1, for those that are unfamiliar, does give you lots of camera options. And there are lots of ways that they're able to make it feel intimate, getting into the pits, getting into the cars. But it still feels like a race broadcast. And Kosinski went and found all of the spots that cameras aren't, that could be, that really give you the feel of being in the seat. And that was the thing that I thought popped sometimes the most, was just that feeling of what it's like to be in an F1 car, like how low to the ground you are. How when you're going at like 200 plus miles an hour, what that's like and how tense it is just to look left and right to make sure things are cool. Like, those spots where the camera goes really give you that intimate feeling of being the race car driver. And then because you have your actors in the seats, the racing scenes themselves are some of the most intense, edge of your seat, thrilling races I've watched. Like, a lot of the cameras put you in places where you understand how dangerous this is. Like, seeing how close these cars are to each other and how tight some of these races are, how some of the crashes go down. Like, you are holding your breath, cheering on the edge of your seat. Like, all of that stuff is electric and kinetic the whole movie. And then everything else, I think, cinematically here looks wonderful. I mean, the F1 circuit is already visually tantalizing, and how Kosinski shoots the circuit throughout the course of the movie really does look wonderful on screen. And then all the other things that are going on technically here, like the edits, I think work really well in the racing. Just the way that he bops around and moves from the different cameras and perspectives that you have. The editing there is really, really strong. The scoring here is great. Like, there's a real energy to the racing because of the scoring and the sound design around the cars. Also, a tremendous soundtrack. Like, I am going to download this soundtrack right away. There's so much good music in here, and all the music that Kosinski picks works perfectly inside the racing and gives us what I think are some of the best racing sequences I've seen in a race movie. And then when you're not racing, the story here that comes from Kosinski and the script from Ehren Kruger is solid. Like, the F1 stuff certainly pops the most, and like, kudos to Lewis Hamilton, both from the visuals of what's going on with the racing and with the technical elements in the script. Like, the thing that I think works best there is the F1 stuff. Like, if you're unfamiliar, F1 is super interesting, and getting into the nitty-gritty of how teams work, the types of strategies you could have, albeit some controversial ones in this movie, how that works and how you can kind of position yourself to get points and move throughout the course of the year, how the circuit works, how the racetracks work, how building out the car works, and the different scientific technical things to figure things out, like how to move through dirty air, how the pits and those crews work, and how you communicate and interact with your drivers. Like, all that stuff being present, I think, is the most interesting stuff in the movie. And then the rest of the story, look, I think some people might say it's generic, it's a little cliche. For me, it was a familiarity. I feel like Kosinski and Kruger are pulling from a lot of other racing movies and building out Sonny Hayes and his story and the story of this team, because most race movies are based on true stories, and this is fictional. So pulling a lot of those familiar elements gave this movie a bit more of a believability, where it's like, yeah, I could buy what's going on, because what's going on with Sonny is kind of crazy, I would have to think, in the world of racing. Like, if this character actually existed, I don't know how believable it is, but because it feels familiar, it's believable enough where you buy in and you are rooting for Sonny and for their team the whole flick. And I can get past cliche, I can get past seeing some things coming if you give me that feel and ultimately put me in a spot where I can just sit back and enjoy a nice, easy race movie. And that's exactly what you get here, albeit one that is extremely thrilling. And then the performances are just stellar across the board. Brad Pitt is Brad Pitt. You know what I mean? He's so good. His natural chemistry with Idris and Condon and Bardem just work so well and give him so many places where you can make the movie funny. Like, I laughed a lot during this movie because there's so much natural banter and humor going on with the cast, and a lot of that is because of the way Sonny carries himself, and Pitt's commitment to that, the commitment to the driving, creates scenes that you're just not going to get unless your actor commits to those things. And then he is a character that you want to pull for, that is super likable, and you understand that all he cares about is racing and winning and doing what you have to do to get the team ahead. And it just makes him a character that's easy to root for. And when you're in an underdog story, you got to be able to root for your guy. And even Damson Idris, while he is the tougher one to get to liking because he is young and he's a bit cocky, watching his relationship with Pitt be tumultuous, but eventually get to a place where they're starting to see eye to eye and learning from each other, I thought worked really well. And their chemistry is excellent. And I'm a fan of Idris. He's been on TV a bunch. It's nice to see him on the big screen, and to see him holding his own scene after scene with Pitt, I thought was super impressive, and I hope that that leads to even better things for him. Kerry Condon, phenomenal. I mean, she is always phenomenal. And while there's not a ton to the relationship that goes on with her and Pitt throughout the movie as far as building it, you don't need to. The natural chemistry between those two is so freaking electric. Like, you can feel it just watching her watch him tie shoes. You know what I mean? And how she kind of can be flirtatious, but also be the technical director on the team and get the guys to focus up and come together and do things seriously. How she flows in and out of that world, I just thought worked really, really well. And then you have Javier Bardem, who's the owner of the team, friends with Sonny, used to race with him. That whole relationship and that chemistry, I thought worked. And Bardem is a guy who you want to root for, but is also another person who makes you kind of want to pull your hair out and drives you a little nuts. And to have three of those people with him, Idris, and Pitt creates a really, really interesting energy throughout the whole movie as you're going through the course of the season and seeing what's happening with their team. So F1 for me right now, one of the best blockbusters I've seen all year. Stellar cast, unbelievable action, really intimate driving stuff. Like, if you're interested in racing or in F1, you're going to walk away taking a lot away. And I really loved how it just kind of put F1 on display. So kudos to Louis Hamilton, who was a producer here, really gave you real feel vibes in the F1 world. And Kosinski, Pitt, Idris just give you something special on the track itself. F1 is a freaking good time.
C-Maniac Nation, you look nervous. Is it the scars? Would you like to know where I got them? No? Well, then maybe you'd like to see another video with the Seaman. How about up here or over here? And if you really dig the Seaman, well, then show him a little love right over there.